I don't know what you're talking about.
There you go.
I'm streaming. You're wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
God,
right. Hey, what's up,
that
BK?
face. Hey,
Hey,
BK.
All right.
Hello
I
again.
said hey
BK.
earlier, but I thought the stream was.
We thought Joe knew what he was doing for a
Shut
minute.
up. I
He
know
forgot
most
to
of the
press the
time.
start streaming button.
Start stream button. It actually said it was connected 4 out of 5, so it could be restreamed. But yeah, it will show up live now. So you want to get done with the intro?
Well, we're already 3 minutes late, so we might as well.
Okay, fine.
Joe.
Sheesh. God.
God.
Can't trust these two.
Let's play that awesome audio track on that opening.
You mean our voices? All right, let's get going with it. What's up, everyone? Let's do this.
It's that time for our weekly game news live
know what we should do?
podcast. Be a part of the show by joining
we'll have
us
some
at
super awesome original
nerdduckies.com/.
piece of music made.
Live Saturdays
like
at
our
12 noon
theme
Pacific,
song,
3
right?
p.m. Eastern.
And then
your
like,
host,
we'll pay some dude to make it or whoever, and then we'll get it and we'll play it for like 2 episodes, and then we'll just continually talk over it, and then eventually we'll just start singing it ourselves.
Yeah.
Be like, let's play that awesome music, and then we'll be like,
you know what I was thinking though? I saw PJ.
Huh?
He makes music.
Yes, he does.
He does make you music, and I'm like,
So does Chuck.
So what could we do to like sweeten up that deal and be like, hey, make us an intro music?
Knowing PJ or Chuck, they'll probably do it for free.
Yeah.
Just so we'll give them like a credit.
Yeah.
You know?
What's up,
It'll
Doug?
be like music by Zion 9 or Tino C or whoever, and then it's gonna be like, and at that point they'll be like, yeah.
Woo!
So
we're on the show. We contribute.
We should
Yeah, but
totally do
don't
that.
touch the audio.
Yeah.
I repeat,
Yeah.
do not touch the fucking audio.
Yeah. What up, Dark? What up, BK? All right. Well, let's get started with the game news. How's everybody doing, first of all? Doing good. Chat.
Wonderful.
Mel, how you been? What you been playing?
Final Fantasy, like always.
Like always. Yeah. Clay, where you on this time?
I'm still going through that Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
Still,
Part
huh?
1.
2
I'm on
weeks?
the final. I'm on the final case of Part 1, and also GameFly is going to be sending me the Ghost of Tsushima director's cut today.
Yeah.
So I am ready to jump into that again.
Yeah.
I'm super
Yesterday,
excited
somebody asked me on Discord if I had played the new Call of Duty Warzone like event that's supposed to show off Vanguard. So you're
I
supposed
saw
to.
that.
Yeah.
I saw that on Discord, that Verdansk or something
Yeah.
like that.
So
Yeah.
you're playing like a previous, like in the past. You're still playing in Verdansk, but it's in the past, and you're taking down this train, is what I gathered. And I was like, okay, so is this supposed to be part of the new game, some sort of an event that happens in the new game, and so you're just recreating it here? But at the same time, it's like you're not against anyone. You're like an entire lobby of 32 players is just against this turret-filled train, and it's just constantly shooting at it until it goes down. And then you get trailer at the very end of Vanguard.
Nice.
And I was just like, what does this have to do with anything? Because the entire time we're just trying to take it down. That's it.
That reminds me of something. First off, BK says, before I commit to 1 hour, do you have any FIFA or PES news for me? Absolutely we do, and it's coming at some point through the show.
Usually at the end.
Stay tuned. Also, speaking of like, you get the trailer reveal. Mel, did you see what this whole, and we were talking about this like 2 weeks ago, did you see what happened with that abandoned real-time experience thing?
No, I have not.
So it went live. This is like, okay. It was supposed to go live on like that Tuesday, if you remember. We were talking about it before the show. And it was supposed to go live, and then it didn't for like days. And even like the Blue Box's Twitter account was like, we're sorry, there was a problem, we're working on it, just stay tuned, blah, blah, blah. Like a few days later, it actually went live. And all it is is like a 3-second teaser trailer. And it's
3
like,
seconds.
it's literally like in you can YouTube it. And it's like, all it is, it's like a camera angle down of a floor, and you see like some dude's shoes walking past. And then it's like, more coming soon. And it's like, what?
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 Why even make a big, huge deal out of it?
I know.
You know what probably happened is they had something way bigger. It didn't work out, and so that's the only like backup they could have done.
Umbros has it. Yeah. Blue Box Games shoes coming soon. There you go.
They found a way
like,
to stop the hackers.
Yeah, it was so dumb though. I was like, so if you all remember, Abandoned is the game that the internet is super speculating is going to be like the next Silent Hill. But that's all they've shown so far is like you download this like Abandoned real-time experience app, and it's like for a while it just said, hey, we're not ready yet, coming soon. And then it's like, here's the first thing, and it's literally like a 3-second little clip of some dude walking across the floor. And it's like, why even bother? Like, why?
You hype it up.
Yeah.
And you show that.
I would think at this point, people like companies that release trailers and teasers and all that stuff would understand from statistics and like data that doesn't work out for them in the end.
All I'm saying, and I know I've bitched about this before, about how the video game industry has a massive hard-on for surprises. And it's like, if Konami just came out and said, hey, we're working on a new Silent Hill, it's not ready to show off yet, stay tuned.
Yeah.
Everybody would calm the fuck down.
They would.
Sorry, I normally don't swear on this show, but that's, yeah, everybody would calm down. It would be like,
we'll fix it in post.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's like, that's all that needs to happen. Oh, Abandoned, I hear it's the new Silent, I hear it's secretly Hideo Kojima, whatever. Konami has yet to ever say a thing about this game. And it's like, all that has to happen is they just go, it's not us. Or
we're kind of surprised.
It is a new Silent Hill game. Stay tuned. It's not clean enough to show yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I see on the trailer is basically, it looks like fucking Resident Evil.
But yeah,
it's either way.
Hey,
by the way, before we forget, because BK Melendez just gave us another one cheer, or cheered 1 bits.
Hey.
Thanks for that, by
Thanks,
the way.
BK.
It doesn't matter who it is, we appreciate it. Yeah.
It is always appreciated.
Yeah.
It goes to improving the show.
And not only that, but freaking Amazon will finally fix the algorithm and be like, hey, they're actually relevant. Woo! All right, so let's get on with game releases, shall we? Because I think it's time.
Yes.
Finally, Aliens Fireteam Elite is coming out. I believe there was a beta earlier on last month. Or earlier this
like
month?
a month or two ago. I tried to get into it. They didn't select me, which sucks. If I don't know if you all been watching this, I know Aliens games have a very hit and miss to them. You know, like for every isolation, you have Colonial Marines. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
This game, from the gameplay footage that I have seen on this, for the people who did get into the beta and were allowed to stream, kind of thing, you know, it's kind of like marketing hype.
Yeah.
I haven't played this yet. I'm very interested in it because it looks like a Left 4 Dead type game, but in the Aliens universe.
You know what it
Like,
reminded me of?
Yeah.
It reminded me of Gears 5. What was it? The Hive Busters DLC.
Hive Busters? Okay.
So
Yeah.
you do have a mission. You get through it. Get the hell out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like there's also a class-based system on this.
Oh yeah.
To where there's like 4 different classes and they all have different weapons and different, you know, like special abilities and things like that, which kind of makes me think, I mean, Hive Busters is a good example because if you remember, each one of the 3 characters had like their own special ability.
Right.
But like, yeah, I think this is going to be kind of like a level-based third-person Left 4 Dead kind of like system.
It looks clean. I will give it that. The trailer looks
I think
amazing.
it looks awesome.
Yeah.
I think it looks awesome. I'm really excited for this. They've already confirmed it's cross-play and cross-chat. And also I saw an article, I don't have an exact quote or anything on that, but I saw an article saying that the company on this is very against like microtransactions.
Oh yeah.
So, which is like, I'm excited now. Like that sounds kind of cool.
But it just seems like, okay, if it's not microtransactions, then what? How are they having continuous sales then of anything that's in there? Like
maybe you pay full price for the game and then you get free levels and DLC afterwards, and theoretically the game would be so good and polished and everybody loves it that they all tell their friends and everybody buys it.
that seems so classic gaming back there.
That's very like early 2000s gaming right
it's
there.
like, hey, you bought Unreal Tournament, you're gonna get free DLCs and maps throughout the entire thing for free. For free.
Yeah.
My question is, who are, aside from the actual developer, who are they actually being produced by?
Well, I believe Sega still owns the license for Alien.
Well, 20th Century Studios, though, right?
Well, so Fox owns the IP, right? Sega, I believe, has the rights to make video games. So Sega and Fox, which is Disney now, owns the IP, and then they probably said, kind of like how like EA got the rights for Star Wars video games,
right.
a few years ago, and it's like, so Sega has like the publishing rights for the video games, which they probably just royalty out to Disney at that point. And then they say, hey, we need a developer to make a new Alien game. And then these guys came in and said, hey, we'll do it. Yeah.
All right, then.
All right.
As long as it's not.
Either way, yeah, it's not EA. Either way, I think it looks cool. I was hoping it was going to be a Game Pass game. I thought I read that it was, but apparently it's not. So I'm probably going to, like, after Ghost of Tsushima, I'm probably just going to gamefly this thing and check it out, because I think it looks great.
Yeah. All right. Well, on the Nintendo side, we're going to go with No More Heroes 3. I believe this one is being released on the 27th for $60 full price.
Yes.
I've never played any of... Hey, what's up, Raven? I've never played any of the No More Heroes, but I hear good things about it.
The first one, I played 1 and 2. There was this little side game as well called Travis Strikes Back, which I hear was really well written. But it's the first one. I beat the game. It was fun. It was a Wii game, and it was okay. And I think it got re-released like recently or a few years ago with like a remaster and stuff. But it's it was okay. It's very over the top actiony. The creator of these series is this guy. His name's Goichi Suda, but he goes by Suda51. So like,
oh yeah, I remember.
If you know Suda51's games, they're all really super actiony, over the top, like mayhem style action and like one-liners all over the place and stuff. The first one was okay. It was a unique game for its time. I'll say, like, you'd never played anything like it. And then 2, I didn't even finish. I was bored. And then I wasn't even going to check out 3, but I know the character alone, Travis Touchdown, he has a huge following. Like, he's a big nerdy follower kind of guy. It's probably going to sell well, especially if they break out of Switch exclusivity and put it on everything else. It's probably going to sell well, and people are probably going to love it, just because No More Heroes has like a big cult following to it.
Yeah, and the animation style is like super amazing.
It's weird looking, right?
Yeah. That's cool though. Yeah, so if you're into No More Heroes, number 3 is coming out soon. Check it out. And then we're gonna go with Tormented Souls, which I don't know how you would describe this, Clay.
I saw this on the coming soon lists. It's coming out for a bunch of different systems, and I was like, what is this? So I watched the trailer for it, and I was like, oh, it's like an old school Alone in the Dark style horror game. And I was like, we talk about horror games a lot on this show, so maybe somebody out there is looking forward to this. Or maybe they're like me and they'd never heard of this. I just saw the trailer and I was like, okay, that sounds like it would be cool to watch, because I'm not gonna play it because it's scary. But I thought it looked cool. I was like, I love watching old school horror type games, and
yeah, you definitely.
I know you're a big Resident Evil fan, but like, would something like this interest you? Like a third person, possibly even fixed camera horror game.
Okay. I did enjoy like the original Resident Evil games.
By the way, you're about to see some nudity on camera, just so you know.
It's not nudity. They don't show anything. She's below the water.
Yeah.
All right.
But I played Resident Evil.
I could put some nudity on.
Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil the original Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them. I still have not finished Resident Evil 1. It's still terrifying, even to this day.
Resident Evil 1 is so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say I would probably try it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, it does look like Resident Evil 2 style, like art style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like
when you go
gritty-
through the labs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely trying to pay respects to that era.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this one's coming out. I believe.
I think it looks cool.
I think this one comes out on the 27th, so you got a week from now.
Yeah.
All right.
I
After that,
thought it looked cool.
yeah. After that, we're going finally to Psychonauts 2 being
Man,
released.
years in the making.
Years.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Psychonauts 2.
What was there multiple reasons why this sucker was delayed so many times?
It probably all okay. So if you remember, okay, so this is Double Fine Studios, who they were an indie studio. Their games were always really well rated, but they're not like super rich. You know, they're not. You know, they got bought by Microsoft a few years ago, and that is probably what funded this game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was it that much of a cult following that it just wasn't enough to push out a new game, and so maybe
I've heard a lot of people love this game.
This game has like Psychonauts 1 back then had a huge following, like monstrous following. Like it was well received, it sold decent, it was like there was always like highly rated articles and reviews on Psychonauts 1. I've actually never played it. It is on Game Pass. Actually, both are going to be on Game Pass. So if you do want to get into this franchise,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Your Game Pass subscription will get you both games. So if you want to check it out, go for it. But I've heard nothing but good things about the series.
Game Pass is just knocking it out, man. Like you get brand new releases and still.
Yeah, this is a day one release. Now, granted, as I said, Microsoft owns this game, so
yeah, but
it
even
only benefits them to put it on Game Pass. Right?
Like I totally get that, but even like. What was the other game that just came out? We were just talking about it with the developers who haven't received the money yet.
Outriders.
Outriders. Yeah. Outriders was a day one, and it's not even them. That's a Square Enix game, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, even stuff that's not theirs is coming out day one. Unfortunately, PC didn't get a release, but
yeah, that's kind of why like. I'm currently in a place where I think Game Pass is such a steal that I would recommend it to anybody. But if, say, you are not a PC gamer or you're not an Xbox gamer, you're a PlayStation fanboy or something like that, they have their own version of Game Pass called PlayStation Now, and you could be like, oh man, PlayStation Now's got like 5 times the amount of games on it. It's like, it does. PlayStation Now has like 800 something games on it. 90% of them are shovelware.
Oh,
you know, it's like so
Game
it's
like
Pass
bargain bin, never heard.
Well, it's that, or they're just older games that weren't that good anyway. I will provide an example. If anybody out there wants to check out this game that came out back in the PS3 360 days called Brink, you can get it on PlayStation Now, right now.
Don't.
Oh, was that class-based shooter? That was that class-based shooter a long time ago, wasn't it?
I hated that game.
I know you did. That's why I brought it up. But yeah, Brink did not sell well. It did not review well. It was a PS3 game, so that's 2 generations ago. Why would you still have that? Yeah, why would you still have that game online right now? Yeah, but no, it's like PlayStation Now is just full of games that aren't that good, or it's like they don't ever have new releases like Game Pass does.
Right.
So it's like there's just no point. But yeah, but whatever. If you are a PlayStation gamer or a Switch gamer or something like that, you can still sign up to Game Pass and cloud stream your games.
Yeah. Cool bean.
Play Psychonauts 2 on your phone. It works. Yeah.
All right, next one up. Clay, you told me a little bit about this game. I got super interested the moment that you told me it was. Yeah. You're basically playing a blind person.
You're playing, yeah. So this game, I subscribe to a few gaming newsletters. So like I get these like daily, news reports and everything, and just to try to, build up our weekly, things. And this was in one of them. And I had never heard of this game until I read this email that came in, and I was like, what is this? What you're about to see here is gameplay.
What? Wait, no. I thought this was a teaser trailer though.
Yeah. So yeah, but like right there.
What?
Right there. Gameplay.
No.
Yeah. So you are playing a blind girl who's on this adventure, and because of that, you don't see anything. Like the game it's a black screen with little, snowfall here and there. The game is meant to be played. Yeah, like from what they said, the game is meant to be played with a controller and a headset, because you're relying on your ears for everything in this game. Like if you can hear people off in the distance, and so you have to kind of locate where that is and go talk to them.
Simple design, yet never tried before. Well, I mean, you could,
but yeah,
you could say like text-based games were kind of like this.
Yeah, but I was like, this is so, and there are kind of audio-only games on the indie game market, or like the indie PC market, which is cool, because what if you are blind and you want to try video games? Like there are options out there for you, but you don't see that often on consoles. And so like this is coming to Xbox, and I know on Steam it's $20. And so even though this is in the coming soon section, it actually released 2 days ago.
Okay.
So this is available now on Steam. It's $20. I hope it's the same on the Xbox, but this is one of those things where it's like, I kind of want to check this out just to see what it's like, because like this is such a unique concept for a game that I was like, man, that sounds really cool.
It's very interesting because I remember watching a blind gamer beat Abe's Exodus, I think, or Abe's Odyssey.
Abe's Odyssey, yeah.
And because
I've seen another one do Legend of Zelda as well.
Yeah. And they were blind, but the reason why they were able to play this game is because the sound design was so good in those games that they could tell where certain enemies were in the screen.
Yeah. I remember watching that video on Abe's Odyssey, and it was,
I think it was like on G4.
Every movement in that game makes a unique sound.
Yeah.
So like, like when Abe is walking, his footsteps make a certain sound. When the enemies move, they make a specific sound. When the enemies are looking for you, there's like a music cue. When they spot you, there's a sound effect. It's like everything makes a sound.
I wonder if that like audio design is being worked into this, because that's pretty much going to be your only sensory, except for like the rumble pack on a damn controller or something like that, right? But now you have to visualize like spaces, enemies. If there even is enemies, we don't even know. Like that's pretty smart for like inclusion, right? Like I want to include people to like play the game, and $20 doesn't sound too bad either.
No.
$20 isn't going to break the bank. I don't know how long the game is. I don't know if it's like a spanning, like 5 hours or something like that. But I just thought the entire idea of this game, I was like, that's what people should be doing.
Yeah, dude.
Like think outside the box.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
I'm sorry to indie developers out there. Retro style platformers and Metroidvanias are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
You're not.
I love those games, but it's like I'm coming out with a retro inspired whatever game, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's.
It's almost like this is paying attention to a demographic that is usually left in the dark.
Yeah.
But no pun intended.
Wow.
No pun intended.
Left in the dark. Joe, let me tell you, I saw that joke. All right.
I apologize. Please don't cancel me.
Visualize better jokes, Joe.
It's funny, but it's wrong at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to.
Yeah, but anyway, The Veil. If anybody out there, I know I'm probably going to be checking this out. I think it sounds awesome.
So let me tell you a little bit of what's been going on here with Nerd Junkies for the past, I would say, 3 days. I have been going to Fiverr trying to find a 3D animation person that could just give us rumor control animation stinger, right?
Right.
And so far I found a couple of people that are are allowing or are saying they can do that, but they have to be paid up front. And I'm just like, no, we're not going to pay up front for stuff like that. But the whole point of this is that it's now time for rumor control. And I wish I had the freaking stinger, but we are working on it. And we're paying money from it because I don't know if anybody knows this from back then, but I made the stingers in Cinema 4D back in the old days. And now because it's a subscription, I can't use semi-legit copy anymore. Okay? That's why the stinger's not here, and I apologize. But it will be glorious once we finally have it, and we'll have it for all the segments that we've been missing for the last year.
Yes.
What if
use your cryptocurrency for that?
And just follow my logic here, okay? Through OBS, you can put up like an extra scene that just has text on it, right?
I could.
And you could just plant rumor control in, at the top of the screen.
I mean, I can, but that is not paying respects to the original. That is just literally.
I'm going to be honest. I don't even remember what the original was.
It was rumor control. And it was like like the control button on the keyboard. I don't know. Does anybody remember that? I mean, seriously in the chat. Did I spend 72 hours of my life trying to create something that was 4 seconds long?
I barely remember rumor control.
Come on!
I really do.
And you're part of the show, Mel.
I know. Even numbers kind of remembers it. Ugh.
Anyways. All right. Well,
by the way, before we get into the main rumor today, I have a second rumor for you. BK, there's a rumor that FIFA is coming out next year as well.
Oh.
Wait,
what?
You heard it here first.
Dang.
Next year it's coming?
There's a FIFA 22 and a FIFA 23 rumor. You heard it here first.
That broke here.
Scoop right there.
Hey! You don't even want to know what's gonna happen with 2K games.
Right. So FIFA 23. I heard from an inside source, it's guaranteed to happen.
Yeah. 2040 Battlefield edition. Yeah. Can't wait.
And there's going to be a soccer minigame in there somewhere. Yeah.
Ooh.
Amazing.
Right.
Hey, Clay, can you tell me? Can you tell me where are your sources at?
Look, I cannot disclose the inside sources at EA that I clearly know.
Yeah, clearly.
All right.
Like
clearly.
Who, though? Like
that. So
crystal clear.
It may or may not be EA CEO Andrew Johnson. Okay.
Rhymes with.
Maybe. Could be 50-50 chance that me and him were hanging out last week.
Yeah.
Multi-billionaire CEO of EA, Andrew Johnson.
We are clearly making fun of publications that are scoops and don't disclose their sources.
I heard from my former roommates, kids, uncles, dogs, pet store owner, that FIFA 23 is a definite happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sometime in a year.
You're welcome.
All right, here, let's go with the rumor, because obviously there's not going to be a lot to show, but SaintsRow.com is showing this and showing some sort of graffiti that is colorful.
I'm kind of excited.
With rebooting.
So, Saints Row hasn't had a game since Gad Out of Hell, if you remember. That was like 2015 or something like that, and that game was terrible.
Who's the developer for them?
So Volition is the company that always made Saints Row, and their owners have kind of changed a few times over the past few years. I think Deep Silver is the current owner of the IP.
They are,
Yeah, and so Saints Row is awesome. if you guys have ever played those games, they're great. Like I said, Get Out of Hell kind of sucked, but
But
1, 2, 3, and 4.
The publisher is Square Enix, though, right?
No.
It should be Deep Silver.
That's weird because remember when we went to E3 and we saw them at the Square Enix booth? They were showing off Saints Row.
Were they?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because back then, when we were at E3, back then it should have been THQ who owned them.
Yeah, it just says Deep Silver. I do not see anything about Square Enix.
All right, doesn't matter. Let's go on.
So the Saints Row website was changed like a few days ago, and now if you go to saintsrow.com, it just has this graffiti of the word rebooting. If you guys know what's happening next week, I should have put this in the game news and I didn't. Next week is Gamescom, which Gamescom, if you know anything about that, so the big gaming trade shows in the world, you've got E3, you've got Tokyo Game Show, and you've got Gamescom. Gamescom is it's in Europe. It's huge. Gamescom is next week, and the rumors are now flying around that Volition and Deep Silver are about to drop a Saints Row reboot out into the open. Not a remake or a remaster, a reboot.
So then instead of thinking of it as like a remaster where they just up the graphics and just do they just do HDs of everything, and that
would be a remaster.
Right?
Yeah.
And then a remake is literally remaking the same game, same storyline and everything with brand new engine and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And a reboot is literally brand new game, everything, maybe some things from before, like characters or anything like that, but that's about it. Brand new game.
Brand new game.
So I think it was about time.
Yeah, Saints Row, like I said, I'm a big fan. If you've never played it, they're quite good. They're GTA, so if you like Grand Theft Auto games, they're GTA, but goofy.
Yeah.
Like, more action-y, more over the top, jokes everywhere.
If you think GTA is funny in some of their dialogue, up that by 5 times, and that's what you get in Saints Row.
I'll just say this. I don't know if I can, but we'll see. You get to use a dildo bat.
There you go.
Umbra says it right there. GTA, but with objects as weapons. or
this guy plays.
What was it? I think Saints Row 3 was when they had the dubstep gun.
Yes, it was.
Which, when you fire at people, it just starts playing dubstep and everybody starts dancing.
Yeah.
Wasn't that one of the pre-order collections?
Yeah, it was a pre-order.
Yeah. Yeah, Saints Row is.
Has that.
Yeah.
God, we're old.
Saints Row is awesome. I've been playing them since the first one. The first one, unfortunately, is a Xbox 360 exclusive, so it never came out anywhere else.
Yeah.
2 is when they started, branching it out. But even if you just YouTube Saints Row 1 story, then you could just start with 2.
Right.
2 is, in my opinion, 2's still the best in the series. But the entire series is fun. Like I said, they play like Grand Theft Auto games, but with just crazy over-the-top action.
Right.
I know the original Saints Row was only for the original Xbox.
360.
Was it 360? I thought it was the Xbox.
It was a 360 game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have it.
The 3.
I have it. I can show you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Historian over here is like, yes, I trust me. I know where it was released on.
Looked like shit for the 360. Yeah. The first one, I will say, is rough, and that's why I say if you just want to YouTube the plot and just knock that out, you'll be fine. The first one was rough. It looked kind of subpar for 360, and it was buggy as hell.
I mean, they were trying to compete with GTA.
Yeah, lots of bugs.
As a matter of fact, wasn't that one of the main reasons why it was an Xbox exclusive? Because they needed to have a GTA like game on their console for release?
Honestly, I don't know what the deal was for making that game exclusive. I don't know what background deal that THQ made with Microsoft on that. I don't know. It came out right around the time of GTA 4. So San Andreas was very big and over the top and everything like that. And then 4 came out. And if you remember when GTA 4 came out, it was very dark and serious and it's a good game and there's tons of fun things to do in it, but it doesn't have the fun that those 3D era GTAs had.
No, but it did have a lot of fun characters that just kind of like lifted the story a little bit.
They did, yeah, like Brucey and Roman, like the best two characters in the game. But then when Saints Row came out, it was like they were trying to be a from the streets gangsta type.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, valiant effort, Saints Row, but like GTA does it better than you.
Yeah.
And then so Saints Row 2 came out, and everybody was like, everybody play this game right now. Like, this is perfect.
Yeah, it brought back the fun twofold to a open world game like that, or a free roam game like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the rumor.
I'm excited.
Saints Row should be here.
I love Saints Row. Big fan. The last game that Volition put out was that Agents of Mayhem, like a few years ago.
Yeah.
That sucked. That was not a good game. So if they're getting back into the Saints Row game, I am on board, 100%.
Yeah.
Please keep it to the Saints Row.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go on with our first article for Game News. Game News is here.
Game News.
We'll have it one day.
Working on it.
What we need is a very elaborate looking like explosion fireworks show, but all the sound effects are literally us going. Just like that.
Some sort of Galaga sounds.
Yeah.
All right, we'll work on it. Yeah, by paying someone else to work on it.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, there goes all my mining money.
Hey, you said you were going to put that cryptocurrency to Nerd Junkies.
Yeah, once I pay off the damn miner.
That's right.
That's a 3090 on that thing. All right, let's go on with the game news. Play Diablo 2 Resurrected during the early access and open beta. So if you want to play it now, it's available now. Just boot up your Battle.net launcher, or
it's on console also.
Yeah, it's on console.
Yeah. Zero, I know, played it last week because he was in the pre-order beta. Zero, any comments? Good, bad? A vast improvement? Exactly what you wanted to see out of a Diablo 2 remaster?
Yeah.
Anything like that? Either way, you don't have to pre-order it anymore. You don't have to do Twitch drops anymore. You can now just register for the beta and play it. I believe this is going until like Monday or something. Yeah,
so the 28th, I believe it was. Yeah.
Okay, so even later than that. But it's I don't know anybody outside of Dark Zero who is playing this.
Oh, I think it's the 23rd.
I only saw something about the Cow King. That's it.
Yeah. It's good. It's identical as Diablo 2. So
that's what we expected.
Yeah, like it's prettier, like it's cleaned up, I'll say. It's not like night and day, but it's it looks a little better, but Diablo 2 has a big following.
So does the character are the characters still sprites, or are they actual 3D models? Because I'm pretty sure the characters were sprites originally.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No idea.
Dark Zero can tell us if the character, because I took a look at it. I'm like, those are 3D for sure. But then sprite technology obviously has gotten a lot better. It's like D3 where the same item drops for everyone. Oh, that's cool. So it kind of benefits for the entire group that's going with you, is the drops are going to be shared amongst you all, instead of only having drops just for you and drops just for your players.
He says the only thing I hate is if the item drops its first pick.
Yeah, so if
like
somebody in your group picks up an item that is for everyone. It's not a community. It's a community drop. It's not just meant for you, where your character only sees that drop and somebody else can't pick it up. You have to share amongst yourselves, so that way you can build up your entire team.
Okay.
But the cool thing is that they do allow trading. It's not like bind on equip or anything like that.
Bind on pickup,
yeah, something crazy like that. But that's good, because at least it promotes like a team play at that point, right?
I mean, that's cool. Yeah. But like I said, try it out. It's free, open beta.
Yeah, let us know, anyone else who's playing D2, especially Zero, if you like it or you don't like it, or what you found weird on it. Let us know on the Discord. nerdjunkies.com/Discord.
Nerdjunkies.com/Discord.
All right, let's get on with the next one. Outriders developers. It looks like they're having a hard time trying to figure out when they're going to get paid.
So, yeah, similar to the aliens conversation we were talking about earlier. So Outriders was made by People Can Fly.
Yeah.
They're in Poland. And the game was published, like all the money came from Square Enix. So they hired People Can Fly to make this game.
Right.
The way that usually works is they pay them and they say, here's all your development costs, all the money you need for staffing and everything like that. And then they get a percentage of royalties based on the game, depending on how much it sells.
Right.
Apparently, they have yet to see a single payment from Square Enix outside of those upfront dev costs, which according to People Can Fly, there's really two main situations going on here. Square Enix is hiding their sales numbers for some reason, which we don't know why they would do that. Or the game is not performing. The game is not selling well enough for them to actually receive a payment.
What's the more likely scenario, though, Clay?
Well, I don't know what the sales numbers for Outriders are, so because they haven't been published.
But you clearly bought it, and then a couple of your friends bought it too, right?
Yeah, I bought it.
I mean, I'm not saying that's. Yeah. I'm not saying that's like a bar. Be like, well, we bought it, so it must be doing good. It's like, no, but there's clearly enough people who actually got it. It's not like vaporware where they were just like, oh, it got released and then nobody bought it, and they're making it look like it's some big thing. When I was playing it, which I haven't touched it in like 2 months, but when I was playing it, there was a lot of people online playing it, and if you remember, the game was really broken for like the first month and a half it came out. Yeah.
There was enough people bitching online about that to show that a lot of people had bought it.
Right.
Like there was a lot of anger and a lot of people yelling about that, which says they bought it and they're not happy. So I would assume it sold well enough to, make it profitable. But I will say this is not a good sign. And unless Square Enix does make a statement about, it hasn't made a profit yet, we're probably not, granted this is going to be 5-6 years out or something like that. We're probably not looking at like an Outriders 2 or anything like that. Yeah.
I think the game did well. Yeah. I don't think it has anything to do with not selling as much. I think it has to do with either A, they're not able to grab the numbers right now, and that's why nothing has been released.
I can see that. Yeah, it is. I will say I do like the game. I think it gameplay wise, it plays very well. It's just, it's Gears of War meets Destiny, and I get that. I get what they were going for. I like it. I have fun whenever I play with my friends on it. It's just, we finished the campaign, like we technically beat it, and the end game right now is just
a lot of just repeating.
It's just rinse, repeat, just to level up your loot, and it's like, okay.
But then that's like that's what I was gonna say. Like the end game usually is the bread and butter of the game, though, because if you look at Destiny 1 and 2, like their end game stuff is usually what keep people playing because they know the next release is going to be dependent on either their armor or their skills that they've collected the entire time, or even their currency, right? Because they know that a currency is going to be highly sought after, that it's going to carry over to the next season. But the problem with this is like at the very end game, and Cranky Pants knows, like we were playing this game, but then it just became repetitive. It was just same missions. We got different weapon drops, and the one thing that people were complaining about was the weapon drops were too little for so much time invested in the game, that it just kind of drew players away until they updated it, and even by that time it was just far too late. I don't know. Craggy Pants might have a different opinion, but I enjoyed the game. I thought the story was a little meh. Like I really didn't care, right? Because a lot of it was just like, hey, baddie here, go kill baddie, baddie there, go kill baddie.
Big thing.
Yeah.
Kill it.
Yeah.
Cricky Pants, like she says, the gameplay is good, it's just not enough content. I agree. Once you're in the end game, you go on what are called expeditions, and it's like you just run the same like 10 maps over and over again, and each one takes like depending on what difficulty level you're on, 5 to 10 minutes each.
Yeah, and I don't
So-
really.
It's like Monster Hunter in a way.
Yeah, so like you go in, you kill a bunch of things for 5 minutes, you get showered with loot, you get back out, you jump into a different map, rinse, repeat over and over and over again. And it's like,
Yeah.
there's just no motivation for me to want to keep playing right now.
But I
So
will say, I did tell Cranky Pants, like, man, I'm gonna wait for like DLC to come out. Maybe
Mhm.
it's gonna be good. Maybe it'll just be the way of Destiny 1, where their DLC in the very beginning of Destiny 1 was just kind of like, okay, we get a vault of glass that we got to go through, and it's one of the raids. And then after that, it was just like, well, what do we do now? You know what I mean? And then
Vault of glass.
yeah, it was just okay. Well, when do we wait? And then DLC came out, and it started making sense. Meta's Lizinska says Endgame shouldn't be a thing.
I mean, if in-game wasn't a thing, that game would be. It's like you would beat it way too fast, and or like nobody would play World of Warcraft because they would hit level 60 or back then. I'll say, like they would hit level 60 and then go, I beat the game.
That's it.
On to the next MMO.
Well,
it's like that's like I get why in-game is there. I just think Outriders didn't put enough thought into it yet.
Yeah.
Speaking of mediocre looter shooters, BK says Black Panther is here, Wakanda forever. Because the Wakanda expansion for Avengers just got released. And speaking of games that are not performing up to what Square Enix wants, there's another one right there.
Is that a Square Enix game?
Square Enix published that game.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it is not selling.
It's not doing that great? Oh, no.
Thank you for the follow. Lunar was here.
Hey, thanks for the follow. We appreciate it. But I didn't know that wasn't going to be doing so well, though.
Put it on the Game Pass. BK says, actually, Avengers is on PlayStation now, which is one of those things where it was like, I remember there was an article. This is like 2 months ago or something like that. There was some big game that just got put on Game Pass, and it was like Game Pass just got this. PlayStation Now gets ... Avengers, and I was like,
oh no.
I thought that was funny as hell. But yeah, it's Avengers is the same. It's like it's another looter shooter, and you would think that would be a slam dunk of a game. Like Marvel is,
okay, hold on.
Marvel is so hot right now, right?
So why? Why do you think Black Panther? Is it Black Panther that would sell it, or just the fact that it's Marvel?
The having the Avengers as a game should be a slam dunk. But then they turned it into a live service looter shooter, and it's like at that point people were already like, and then it's and then the game came out, and similar to most things, it has a really crappy end game, and people just lost interest, and it does not have a big player base. Which is like, that's unfortunate. But Square Enix is losing a lot of money on looter shooters right now.
Yeah, because I'll tell you one thing, like for a Marvel game, this thing has a lot of polish. When you look at this game, it's like somebody actually had to build that, plus the mocap, plus all that expensive crap that goes into games that people sometimes overlook. And it's just like Square Enix did a great job with visual style of this game, but the concept of selling it to you again, even after you've already bought it and have buyer's remorse, that's something they need to work on, because it's looking pretty bad for Marvel to have these games out there. Kind of like how it looks really bad for Disney for Star Wars to be handled by EA. Yes.
Hold on. Yeah. Well, okay. For one, the exclusivity is now over.
Okay.
So like EA did, because Jedi Fallen Order was such a good game, you can't say that they did a horrible job. Yeah. And now that Jedi Fallen Order 2 is being looked at, it's like, that's great. It's just that exclusivity ended, so now we have like Ubisoft is jumping in there, and like, who was it? Ubisoft. There was another studio that also announced they were working on a Star Wars game. I forgot who it was, but yeah. So there's more coming for Star Wars, which is good.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go on to our next one because Fortnite is on the news again, and I guess maybe it might become legal action, maybe not. Who the hell?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think it. I don't think it will.
I think it should, only because the little guy.
I absolutely think it should. Yeah.
So if y'all remember, which you should, it was recently, Among Us, right? Great game, did very well. It was a nice social experiment for a lot of people about telling the truth and figuring out who was lying. Well, it looks like somebody wants to capitalize on that, and of course it would have to be Fortnite, right?
Yes.
So
the company that had a crappy game, ripped off PUBG, and then got big, found another thing to rip off now.
Yep, that's crazy because it's not really trying too hard to be anything different from Among Us. I mean, even if you take a look at some of the Twitter posts here, the map looks very similar. A lot of the gameplay looks very similar, but they didn't try too hard on this. So I don't know if anybody on the chats has tried the Fortnite imposters thing, but it looks like a complete rip-off.
So yeah, like so Among Us, yeah, as Joe said, the game actually came out like 3 years ago, but it didn't really get big until last year.
Right.
It was really big during lockdown, pandemic. People could still play it. It's free to play, so that was cool. So Call of Duty also has their own version of Among Us.
Yeah.
I think it's called Agents or something like that. Theirs is a little bit different. It looks different. It plays different. So they kind of took inspiration from Among Us for the Call of Duty.
They tried.
Fortnite, it looks like they literally copy pasted and made it prettier. Which, like I said, I don't think any legal action is going to come up here because Inner Sloth, who's the company who makes Among Us, they've even said that they didn't copyright anything or trademark anything on like their gameplay mechanics.
Right.
They did that on purpose. Like they don't want to hinder game development like that, by saying, oh no, that's ours. You can't ever make a game like that because we own it, which is very admirable. And I totally get that. Their beef with Epic on this whole thing is basically saying like, hey, we would have been happy to, collaborate with you on this.
Yeah.
But you just went off on your own and blatantly ripped us off. So screw you guys.
It is what it is. I mean, to be honest, Among Us is on a downturn anyway, only because like most of their DLC stuff hasn't brought on a huge following anymore. But it's definitely one of those games that just like stood its test of time only because of a perfect storm of COVID, people staying home, and all that other stuff. The same things you mentioned. It just feels like this is just one of those too little, too late kind of situations, and it's just like, oh, okay, well now we have Fortnite.
It's okay for Epic. This is a smart move.
Yeah.
Like for them, this is a smart move because they can now say, why would you want to play that when you could you're already in Fortnite? Why wouldn't you just stay within Fortnite?
Yeah.
Like be in our ecosystem and then play your game.
Right.
Yeah. So it's
that's exactly what they did.
Fortnite is a free game. Fortnite is free. You got, it's just microtransaction, like all cosmetic based. So it is free, just like Among Us. But...
So yeah, you're right. It is pretty smart. I mean, because they clearly already have an IP that they're sticking to, right? That they're promoting a lot of things to. And then they're expanding on that one. And instead of having to build it from scratch and then build their audience from scratch, they're just inheriting the ones they already have.
Yeah, it's all about keeping people in Fortnite. So it's like, I get it. That Matas Lasinskas, we're probably butchering your name. I apologize.
We apologize.
Yes.
I hope for Fortnite's death, #, bring back Unreal.
Unreal Tournament, bro.
I know exactly. Yeah, a buddy of mine did the same thing. He was, do you remember when there was an Unreal game in the works? It's actually still alive. It's like a beta. There was an Unreal game like 3 years ago or something like that, 3-4 years ago, and
it's just an engine demo.
He came across that game and basically said, hey, we should all play this. And I was like, dude, that's a dead game. And he goes, no, man, it's on their website. And I'm like, no, Epic even admitted, they said they're shutting that down because Fortnite is doing so well and they don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
I
mean, don't take it as not fan service. Take it as they know exactly where they're going to make their money. They're no different than any other company. It's just the fact that they didn't take it down is still like hey, we're going to let you play this. Because if you look at their launcher, that is the first thing that you can actually play on their development side is Unreal Tournament. Now, are there maps that are missing a lot of content and textures and all that stuff? Yeah, but that's Unreal Tournament has always been one of those community games that people just develop for, not necessarily something that Unreal polishes to the greatest extent and then just sells it to you. Because the last one they tried to do that with was Unreal Tournament or Unreal 3, I think it was, and it just had a bunch of multiplayer stuff, and very few little people actually played it.
I thought that game was terrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
Unreal 3. I played that on the PS3 because it was like console exclusive on PS3 back then, and it was like, wow, what have they done? Yeah. This is horrible.
And then do you remember Unreal Champions or was it Championship?
Unreal Championship and Unreal Championship 2 were Xbox games.
Yeah.
And I loved both those games.
Yeah, they were more more along the lines of like a class base and then some abilities.
Unreal Championship 2 was that one, where you like all the characters had their own like basically like damage and health levels and speed levels, and they all had like a special ability and stuff like that. That was Unreal Championship 2. The first one was basically Unreal Tournament. Yeah. But for some reason they called it Championship.
Yeah. Joe Dub says right here, by the way, I love that Among Us devs is getting mad when Among Us is just a knockoff of other games like Salem. Now look, I'll tell you one thing. I say that yes, Among Us, if they ripped off things from other games, is great, but there are very little originality in a lot of games nowadays where it's just either a remaster, reboot, or something like that. But the thing is here, Among Us won the popularity contest. Mm-hmm. Salem might have been up there at the time, but when in the beginning
it was. I can understand what you talk about, like it's kind of a knockoff, but yet it's really. How do I describe? Oh no! Please no.
No, move on. Go on, Mel.
Basically, you can actually do a task versus just talking and killing each other.
Right.
So.
Oh, Town of Salem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've never played this. I don't.
Exactly, and that's the point. Is that you can claim originality and all that stuff, but somebody took something from somebody else, and then at the same time, whatever you put your spin on it, that's the game that hit. Yep. And because it just became popular so fast and the timing was there, that sucks. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks for games who actually did try, but they didn't catch that gaming fever at the time. So, I don't know.
Okay.
It's up to you. I mean, I think Among Us did great. I think they're on their downturn. I think unless they come up with some radical new thing, then I don't think it's going to come back.
I will agree with everything you just said. I played it a bunch during lockdown last year. Like Joe, me and you and Mel actually played a few of them, mm-hmm. and it's fun. It's a fun game. I get why it was popular, but after like 2 hours, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go play something else now.
Yep.
That's true.
Like, oh, come on, we're all together. It's a big group. We're all having fun, and it's like, yeah, but
stabby.
This got boring. You know, like
it held us over for the pandemic.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to my favorite topic, Quake.
QuakeCon.
Because Quake is his only topic. Quake is a category on its own, sir. So Quake Remastered has been announced. It's available now.
And released. Yeah, it was like they basically, like day one of QuakeCon, they were just like, oh, hey, by the way, we're 4K upscaling and remastering Quake. Yeah. Right now, it's there. Go get it.
Go. Yeah. Don't pay attention to our event here at QuakeCon. Just go download it.
So, did you download?
I did. So,
and what do you think?
We found out, and I don't know if everybody knows this already, but we found out, yes, it's $10 for those who are purchasing it,
Yes.
the remastered version. But what people might not know is that if they already own Quake on Steam or on anything else that has a updating client, you already get the remaster, no problem. It actually gives you on Steam. It actually gives you a drop down where it says play Quake remaster, or play original Quake. So now the default is that Quake is going to be the remastered. Okay. The game looks and plays so smooth, and it looks amazing. Really? And the lighting is just like, I'm surprised they didn't put like ray tracing features on it for all the Nvidia heads out there. But it already looks. Any ideas. I know, right? But it already looks good. Like, I would die if I saw like a ray traced Quake 1, even though they did it for Quake 2. But it's just like, it looks good already. I played the first level and whatnot, and it was super fast, super, like, it brought me back. But then at the same time, it made me look Quake at a different light, because now even movement is a little bit smoother. Back then, it was just like pretty blocky. It almost reminds me kind of like Minecraft when you play like the original. It was just it was just like, this was the pinnacle of technology back then, where I had to use like my 3D effects Voodoo cards just to be able to run this higher at 640 by 480. But it was just like, wow. By default, when you boot Quake Remastered, it's like, I'm going to take your biggest resolution that your monitor can handle, and I'm going to pump everything up to max, and then the demo runs. You know how like they have like a gameplay demo? But it looks amazing. I thought it was a nice little like project for them. What I
think about it.
Go ahead.
How's it look on your curved screen?
So that's the one thing I didn't test, and I don't know if anybody in the chats would want to see what it looks like on a 32:9 monitor, if it even has that support, because the engine was never made to go that high on a 32:9 ratio. So I can try it out and record it, but it's
gonna be very
amazing. Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, oh my god, there's so much Quake, but it's amazing. But yeah,
just imagine if it's VR. There you go. Definitely
worth the $10 if you don't have it already. I was kind of hoping that it would be a Quake reboot, because there was rumors back like about 2 weeks ago about Quake being remade or something like that. Mm-hmm. I was kind of hoping that it was going to be a reboot completely from scratch, brand new story, because they've already gotten success with Doom. You have a new IP, or not a new IP, a classic IP here that you can completely remake from the ground up and be completely different story if you wanted to, like with the Strogg and everything. But okay, I'll take this. For $10.
Well, didn't
that's
they try to do something with Quake Champions?
Yeah, but
Quake Champions was a thing.
Though, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give you Quake Champions, but here's the problem. Like, there are two different categories of Quake, and I'll give you a very good example. Quake 2 is an original Quake, right? Quake 3 is a multiplayer shooter Quake. It has a storyline that lasts for an intro, and that's it. You get nothing else but like, hey, you're in a tournament area. Basically what the competitor was for Unreal Tournament. That's all it was. But then Quake 4 happened, and it just took a big old dump on everybody's computers because it was trash. Like, there was some fun parts on Quake 4, but it literally looked worse than the previous game. It looked worse. But I would be definitely the first person to say that I want a new single player Quake. Brand new from the ground up. This is great for $10. I already owned it, so I already enjoy the benefits of it. But they need to make a new Quake with that Doom 2019 engine and everything.
Yeah.
Like
it's a little bit
Tech 5 or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a little bit slower paced than the new Dooms, but I think it would be great, especially with like lighting. You remember back then when id Software was trying to be like, check our new engine, and we're licensing this engine out, and check out Rage, and look at the graphics quality, and we were like, wow, blown away. And then we got the final product, and it's like texture popping everywhere.
Rage 1 was notorious for that.
Yeah. So I'm a fan of Quake. I like this. I like the fan service that they're doing, but just give me a brand new Quake.
So you said it's $10 if you don't already have it.
Yep.
Also, just want to put it out there, these are all on Game Pass now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, another reason to get Game Pass. And then when people tell me, it's like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. It's like, do you not know the value you get from Game Pass?
Yes.
It's
These are on
very
Game Pass.
tempting.
Go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have so many subscriptions.
It more than pays for itself. It's basically your Netflix of games instead of what Netflix is trying to make of games, with their mobile games division. Or better yet, this is basically if GameFly did something right and did digital. But that's what it is. Not to promote promote like that whole Microsoft thing, but you really should get it.
Yeah,
all right,
Game
let's
Pass
move
is
on.
worth it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then we're gonna move on to our next one, which I don't know if I'm gonna be as excited about, but I didn't see this coming at all.
So QuakeCon, as when we talked about it last week, it does kind of ring true here. This is not just Quake, right? This is kind of like another venue for Bethesda to show off their stuff.
Yeah.
Because it owns Quake, Bethesda owns them, Microsoft or ZeniMax owns them, Microsoft owns them. In all of this, there was also stuff about Elder Scrolls, and you'd be like, "Isn't it called QuakeCon?" No, don't worry about that. So
it's
Skyrim,
Bethesda Con.
Yeah, it's like, so this is now, and so there was also an announcement for the Skyrim 10th Anniversary Edition, which, the running joke, Skyrim is like on everything, right? It's like,
My
there's
Samsung refrigerator.
They even make jokes about it.
Yeah, even they did with the,
what was it,
with
last year's?
the fridge,
No,
or like the Alexa thing,
Oh yeah.
I think somebody had a meme about a watch. Hey, Cranky Pants, hit us up with that meme, with them memes, bro.
Yeah, but so basically, this is Skyrim again. They're bringing it to current gen stuff, so PS5, Series X, Series S. They're going to bring it to that. This is in November, by the way, like when this launches, and they're adding additional stuff to it. So from what they said in their little blurb, it's like there's some more quest lines. There's a fishing mini game now. There's my
God. So basically, mods that were free on PC are now available on console.
Yeah. Now they're going to throw that in there. I will be the first person to admit I have never played Skyrim, so maybe I'll get to it now.
Look, I played Skyrim for about a month.
Yeah.
And I never found a sense of direction, which I hear is part of the allure of playing these kind of games, is that you're LARPing, obviously.
Yeah.
And trying to go through and have an adventure, but I'm a simple man, I just need waypoints and check
that
marks.
arrow.
Yeah.
that arrow right there that says go here.
Yeah.
And okay.
Or better yet, maybe because I'm such a simpleton, you start me out directing me out of the cave and telling me where I need to go to understand all these mechanics that you're showing me, like items and all that stuff, and being encumbered and all that, like what's best, min-max, and all that other stuff. And then you set me free. But you did none of that. You just got me out of a cave, did a couple of swings here and there, and then I'm off on my way. And I was just like, what do I do? That's a pretty daisy. It's a cool tree. All right, I'm going to go to the first town and then just start killing people. Oh, people kill me as well? Okay, fine. Yeah.
I beat the game as well, but after finishing the game, I stopped. I didn't do any of the DLC.
You don't like live in Skyrim like a lot of people do?
No.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird too, because when Skyrim was first released, I was like, wait a second, do they not know that we have the internet? Like, why is this a single player game? Why can't my friends come in here and look at my Pokemans? Look at my armors.
You can play Elder Scrolls Online, which Skyrim is now a part of.
But that's not the same game as this.
No, it's not.
But
I remember the first time I ever played an Elder Scrolls game, it was Oblivion, and it was during the time when I was still addicted to World of Warcraft. And so a buddy of mine brought his copy of Oblivion over so I could check it out, and because it was on the 360. And so we loaded it up, and I created a character, and I played like the first 20 minutes or so, like when you get out of the jail, and that was it. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. And he goes, so what do you think? He's like, do you want to play? And I'm like, no, it's not online. Like this is a colossal open world story heavy thing, and I'm the only one who's going to see it.
Yeah.
So I'll just go back to WoW. Thanks, though. You know, like
it's almost like I don't know what's a good analogy. It's almost like being like one of those like Lego fanatics in your basement, and then going and doing your 9 to 5, grabbing coffee, and nobody knows that about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like.
You got to show off all the Pokemans, bro.
Yeah, bro. Like, hey, check out my armors. I got this at this
man.
and this and this. Like, cool.
You can't roll up into Orgrimmar with that tier 3 armor. You know,
bro,
you can't just be.
Where'd you get that? Oh, it's a one-off drop.
Dude, I was raided for 14 hours and killed a boss, and I got a random drop for this helmet. Yeah. Sweet.
I mean, the game has a cult following, definitely. I remember seeing an article of an older woman who actually just picked flowers in the game.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's an actual thing.
So it's literally like LARPing without the real life thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, for everyone, there's a thing, but it just wasn't something that I picked up on. Yeah. Now, which is weird because like I pick up on like Warhammer Online, and that was a flop. That
game was fun.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and it didn't last, and that was unfortunate. Yeah. But yeah.
All right, let's go on to the next one because this is really important news. The entire way of us living is about to change.
Oh,
and by us, I mean very specifically PC gamers that are into graphics cards. And that's what I mean by us. Not you, Clay.
I'm just gonna. Okay.
Yeah.
Get out of there. Get out of this conversation.
Not you right now. All right.
Joe, put on you, please.
So here's the thing. Everybody knows that for the longest time, it's been well, if we go back, it's been 3DFX and NVIDIA, or NVIDIA and Radeon, or NVIDIA and AMD, and then basically this is where we are now. Intel has decided to go into the GPU market by introducing their own discrete GPUs, not your embedded GPUs on your Intel CPU, not like little graphics cards that are only there to show your 2D visuals. NVIDIA and Intel and AMD. So now we're having 3 choices. And if history proves right, which I hope it doesn't, I hope they're here to stay, Intel will push out the 3rd option somewhere. Doesn't know who is going to win or nothing like that, but right now they've already announced their first discrete GPUs, and their code name Alchemist, Battle Mage, Celestial, and Druid. So
very D&D.
Very gamer centric to some RPG like old style elements and whatnot. Fine. Whatever they're gonna call them, it is what it is. Now what they're stating is that these GPUs will be competitive to NVIDIA's 30 series and AMD's current series, which, if you know, the 30 series is no slouch. Nobody can buy them. It's a great mining card. It has everything people want, regardless of what they're trying to do with it. Like gaming or mining, it doesn't matter. Like even workstation, like video editing and 3D art, right? I don't know if they're gonna be this great. I don't know if at launch it's going to be great, because every single time we've seen this, it's always like, yeah, I can do ray tracing, which, by the way, they did say that it'll compete with NVIDIA's ray tracing on hardware. But your first launch, Intel, you weren't doing very good when all of a sudden there were security flaws in your Intel chipsets, but now you're going to come out swinging with these GPUs that you're going to compete with. I think the only thing that's going to set these guys apart, if there are going to be discrete GPUs out there, is that one, can it mine? Because if it can mine and it does that efficiently, all of a sudden they're nowhere to be found on launch day. Number two, can it compete within 5% margin of the 3080 or anything? Because that's the only thing that's gonna make it worthwhile to pay top dollar. And three, if it can't compete within 5% of margin, is it cheap enough for people to game on at like 1440p or 4K at a pretty decent price? I think that's gonna be the swinging that they need to make to be able to stay in the game and possibly push somebody else out in the next second or third generation. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I just don't remember a time where there was 3 choices for one single like section of the PC gaming market. I don't recall a time. But what do you think? Is this something that you're gonna buy outright because you're just tired of AMD and Nvidia? Or is it something that you're just gonna do the Magneto thing and be like, let the pawns go first and we'll see what happens?
Well, so we got a comment here from Matas the Sinskas. Again, butchering your name. You need to give us like a phonetical type out there.
Yeah, Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Yeah, that's great. They have a lot of great ideas and brings new air and ideas to the market. And also they were bringing a new cool shader instructions for game devs and so on. What say you, Joe?
New shader instructions and everything is going to be something that it's going to be per developer. Like they're going to either decide to use it. It's kind of like back in the day where people were like, does it support 3DFX Glide? Does it support DirectX or OpenGL? Does it support this? Like those were actual questions that people that were buying GPUs were deciding whether or not they were going to buy the graphics card. Nowadays, it's all included, right? Like if you do ray tracing, it has the ability to do all that. With shaders, it's like you're really going to have to sell them on either a level of performance or a level of quality or both for them to say, it's a no-brainer. We have to implement this stuff on our next game because it just makes it that much better. Now, one thing that AMD has been boosting this entire time is that their newer CPUs and their newer graphics cards have a direct communication with each other where they don't have to go through like a PCI bridge to be able to communicate like raw memory data. It just loads it onto the GPU instead of having to bridge through the CPU. This could be the introduction of that by saying, look, we have that too. We have the ability to do that too on a hardware level, which means now you're going to have to buy our new motherboards, our new CPUs, and if you're going to go with anything graphics, you're going to get a boost if you buy Intel Arc graphics cards. And that will be their advantage. But AMD already has that since 6 months ago, I think. So we'll see. I don't think it's enough. I think Nvidia has been in the right area for a little while by saying, fine, we charge you a premium because you also get features like shadow play. You get features of streaming without having to use a third party, even though that's a piece of crap at this point. And then also that, but the shadow play application allows you to optimize for your specific PC specs instead of just being like, well, normally people run it like this, so it's going to be okay. It's specifically to your specs. Like, we know that you're going to get max frame rates from your combination of hardware, and we're going to set your games up to be this setting automatically. Not on every game, but most games. Whereas AMD doesn't have that at all. Their software driver package kind of feels a little bulky with so many features that you don't even know what to use with. And even then, it's just like, it feels like you're kind of installing bloatware sometimes. And then Intel, I don't know what their software piece is, but if it's anything like their integrated graphics, it's going to be another control panel that you're going to have to worry about.
My worry is if you like just wanted to get their little graphics card and stuff like that, Will it work for the motherboard, or they're gonna make you go for a specific motherboard?
So, I think the fact that I don't think they're going to lock down the graphics cards because of PCI Express 4.0 and 5.0 now hitting new motherboards, because AMD has already shown support for that on the newly announced 600 series. But not to get too far into this whole article, I think it would be a dumb move for them to lock out performance. Instead, just lock out features that work with Intel. Don't lock out the performance, just features. Like, I don't know, you're able to record whatever at the same resolution or higher than what you're playing on, or something like that. You know what I mean? Just stupid feature like screenshotting on a hotkey or something stupid.
Yeah.
But that's what I think is going to happen. It will promote Intel's products in the future because it integrates better. Sorry to use this analogy here. Whatever. It'll promote features that Intel is releasing. Yeah. But you'll still be able to use your old PCI Express 3.0 and 4.0 to be able to use this graphics card. That's my take on it. And I'll leave it at that because it's one of my subjects that I just get super excited for. Clearly, right?
Yes. Just need to have a whole segment of tech talk with Joel.
I want to have all the power of the GPUs and play Fortnite.
I concur.
But yeah, let's move on. I mean, if you're excited for this, great. If you're not excited for it, tell us why. I think it's a good move for Intel, but I also think like if they can't supply the graphics cards, they're dead in the water. But let's keep on going. Something less exciting.
We need something funny.
Something funny. I got a good joke for you. I got a good one. Yeah. So you remember Soulja Boy, right?
Soulja Boy, tell him.
Tell him. You.
That was like a one-hit wonder like 15 years ago or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard
that
it on the
when I was
radio
in
and I was
middle
like,
school
oh,
when that thing came out?
Yeah. So apparently, Soulja Boy thinks that he owns Atari.
Yeah.
Which is news to me because
this article is awesome, by the way. I caught this on Twitter. It was like somebody retweeted it or whatever, and I was like, wait, hold on. And I love that it starts out with random. Like random colon, rapper Soulja Boy claims he owns Atari. Atari doesn't agree. And I was like, okay, I have to read this.
Yeah.
Just the first word is enough.
Yeah, like this is great. So the story on this one, Soulja Boy, who, you know, he had like a hit 15 years ago.
A hit for sure.
A hit. And then if you know anything about him over the last few years, he's apparently he's just like a really big video game nerd, which that's cool, but he tried to release his own kind of like emulator consoles. But the problem being, it's like not only is this like a little handheld kind of console chock full of emulators, it was also chock full of copyrighted ROMs.
Yeah.
So
hugely illegal.
That probably didn't work in his favor. Then he tried to make a handheld that did the same thing. And it's like, you just don't get it, do you? So
you can't sell these things like that.
Yeah. So I know Yeezy B thinking he's the owner of Microsoft. I don't know what Yeezy means. So
that's Kanye.
Yeah. So with this, Soulja Boy put on social media that he just made a big deal with Atari, and he's super rich, and he now owns the company. And you're like, interesting. And then Atari actually did a little clarification on their social media outlets and basically said, we know that CEO of Atari is a dream job, but that honor currently belongs to Wade Rosen, who is the CEO of Atari. So it's like them saying, no, you're not the owner of Atari. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
All right. So what is the actual like truth here?
Okay, so Soulja Boy does have some kind of a deal with Atari. Now, what it really is, we haven't seen yet, but I'm speculating. I'm gonna guess here because so when Atari came back and said it's actually Wade Rosen, he put another video out on social media blasting Atari. Like, how dare you guys? And it's full of expletives and racially sensitive slurs. So we're not gonna go.
So we'll
there,
link to it later.
Yeah. So it's basically him. It's him blasting Atari for not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and he has a contract, and the contract states that he owns the place now. I'm guessing that maybe Atari reached out to him for some kind of marketing deal. Like, Soulja Boy is going to go on his social media and talk about how great Atari is, or talk about how cool the VCS is, or something like that. His contract, which he actually puts in one of these videos, he took a screenshot of it and put it on the video. I'm thinking he doesn't understand the difference between what a stock share is and something else, because Atari apparently paid him in a bunch of Atari-owned cryptocurrency called Atari tokens. So probably to pay him for some kind of maybe a cross-promotional deal or like a marketing deal or something like that.
Some coin that has very little value to anyone else.
I believe, didn't you say earlier that one Atari token is 5 cents?
One Atari token currently in the market is 59 or 5 cents, 5.9 cents.
5.9 cents, so 6 cents. Okay, so he was paid in like a bunch of Atari token for this deal. And apparently that, I'm guessing maybe he thinks that those are shares of stock and that maybe he's now like the majority owner of Atari or something like that.
I feel like that's how it was explained to him, that these tokens are like shares of stock.
Yeah.
And he took it as like, I own stock. Biatches.
I'm the majority owner of Atari. I now own Atari.
Yeah.
That's me. But yeah, I watched his rage video earlier this morning where he's just blasting Atari. And it's like, you kind of look like an idiot now, dude.
Yeah. How are you almost 30 years old and still look like you're 14?
The bad part is his birthday is the day before mine.
Oh.
But yeah, this is, I just thought this was so funny. And I was like, we have to talk about this in the show. Like,
this is pretty bad.
This is fantastic. Yeah, like, this is awesome. So, Soulja Boy, I'm glad you're a video gamer because we welcome everyone.
Yes.
You just need to turn it down a little,
Yeah.
all right? Like, turn it down. Stop trying to sell copyrighted material and understand that you don't actually own.
We don't
anything
need
in Atari.
another Kanye West here.
Yeah.
Please no.
I mean, to be honest with you, like the one hit wonder thing, I give him props for staying relevant this long.
Mm-hmm.
But it's done with.
Yeah.
Man. I mean,
no fault on trying to keep business going.
Yeah.
You know, like, but selling illegal stuff is already not good. And then now falsely saying that you own something when you just are ignorant to the facts is like, you just look stupid now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but like we're all older now, and we went to work now, so you might want to follow us instead.
Whatever. It's all good.
All right. And in other news, Atari token is still at 50.5 cents.
Hold on. Let me log into my Coinbase real quick.
Yeah. By the way, we did the calculations of how many like shares he might get. Like he has a million of these tokens, and he pretty much clears out at like $50,000.
Which, hey, good for him.
Good. But that's what would be the going rate for somebody wanting to promote Atari, right?
If he had understood the entire situation from the get-go and said, yeah, Atari just paid me $50K in Atari tokens to do, like, I don't even know what the terms of the deal are. I'm assuming it's cross-promotion or some kind of marketing blitz.
Right.
If that's it, he starts talking or he starts hyping up the Atari VCS or some upcoming game on social media to try to drag, like, to be like, paid advertisement, right?
Right.
Nobody would ever fault him for that.
No.
Nobody would ever have they'd be like, hey, good for him. He just got a deal with Atari. He got $50K for, talking up this thing.
Yeah, that would have
Cool,
been
good
enough.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the
now
way this all turned out is just like, this is laughable now.
Yeah.
Like, this dude's just embarrassing himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to the last one of this week. We have, I don't know how many people here subscribe to Peacock. Is it a subscription, right?
It is a subscription. It's my understanding that, and I don't know if Hulu still does this because I haven't subscribed to Hulu in a long time, but back in the day, Hulu was like, you had free Hulu, and then you had like paid Hulu. And the free one, it was ad supported, but you didn't get like the entire catalog. You just got like select episodes of shows here and there kind of thing.
I think they still kind of do that.
Yeah,
So,
Peacock has a free plan, but you don't get everything, and it's ad supported.
Right.
So you get like some shows, you get some episodes, like you don't even get like a whole show. Like say like Friends is on the free plan. Like you don't get the entire show. You get like a few seasons or a few episodes here and there.
Oh, okay.
But Peacock is, for the most part, you get subscriptions, and then I think they even have like an ad-free subscription, which costs even more kind of thing. But yeah, Peacock, we actually talked about this on the show months ago, 4 or 5 months ago or something like that, that they are developing a game show based on the 80s arcade game Frogger. And it was one of those things where it's like, wow, that's going to be interesting. And we finally have a commercial. It's on their YouTube page. You go to Peacock's YouTube page, and you can now see what Frogger, starring the comedic talents of Damon Wayans Jr. as the host.
That's so weird.
Look at, this is like people are jumping across a waterway in kind of like an obstacle course kind of scenario, trying to not fall into the water.
It's Wipeout. That's
and it's like, is this really a 30-minute show? Like, I mean, now granted, I know about you all, I'm old. I grew up on Double Dare, if you all remember that show on like Nickelodeon, where stuff like this happened all the time on Double Dare, right? This is like the physical challenge, and it's like, so that to me is what this is. Like Frogger should, like this what they just showed off should be part of another show. Like maybe if something went wrong, or they could choose to do like some kind of event like this.
Give me Guts again. I miss that.
Guts. That was cool. But like for this, I was watching this commercial, and I was like, are you kidding me? This looks like a complete waste of time. I watch American Ninja Warrior. I love it. I'm like hooked on that show.
What was the other one that had like American voiceovers, and it was just like this?
It was Wipeout, I think.
Well, so there's Wipeout. There's the original Ninja Warrior, which is called Sasuke, and then there was like Unbeatable Banzuke, and then like But this is like, I just don't see the. Now, okay.
Hold on.
I'm an old, out of shape guy. I'm not saying I could do this by any means. I'm not claiming that this is easy or that I could do it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this doesn't seem entertaining enough to warrant a 30-minute TV show.
Okay, hold on though. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Netflix has something very similar to this. It's called The Floor is Lava.
Yes.
Okay? So
I've heard of that.
So Netflix actually gained some traction by that.
Most Extreme Elimination. There you go.
Yeah. So Netflix had a really good run with The Floor is Lava. It had like a blip of popularity, right? And I still think people watch it. It's just not where it was at its peak of its time. I think this is a direct competitor to that. I think people are looking for mindless game show that either makes you laugh or something like that, but it's just simple TV that's not trying to be something epic. There's a place for these things. The fact that it touches on a video game thing for us just makes it that much more funny to make fun of, to be honest with you. But there's still like, I'm trying to picture the audience and I can't do that. You know what I mean? I don't know who these people are.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Who is this for? this isn't for the video game crowd because they're not going to care about this at all.
No.
We barely do physical stuff as it is.
I think it's more for the people who make the YouTube funny clips and just make compliment.
Like fodder to make fun of this.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. Like I saw this and I was just like, wow, that looks really bad.
But also look at this show like as a, hey, they know their audience because as you said, we watched Nick or Nickelodeon back in the day as kids, that seeing something like this is basically just trying to speak to our generation and just say, hey, at some point there was American Gladiators for back then, right? And now we're having this, whereas like as kids we watched it and was like, oh, that's amazing. There should be a video game made out of American Gladiators. And there was some iteration.
Do that, though?
Yeah.
There were American Gladiators games on the NES and Super Nintendo.
Right.
And they were
I had one of those too.
But now you can clearly see the popularity of video games is starting to roll reverse here. Because you see a generation of people that were kids that played Frogger and they understand that reference, kind of like Captain America being like, I understand that reference.
I understand that reference.
You know what I mean? But then you put on a game show and it just draws that crowd in because that's who we are in this generation. We play video games. And some of the older crowd is having a really hard time understanding that. Like, man, I thought you kids would have been away from that already.
Okay, so Joe, do you have Peacock?
I do not.
Mel?
No.
Okay, I don't either. So I will say this. If this shows up on the free plan for Peacock, I'll check it out. But if this is behind their like paywall, like their monthly fee, it's like, nah, like this is yet something else that I don't need to watch.
I think there was something at the end of the trailer about saying something needing a paid subscription.
Oh yeah? Oh, like the fine print or whatever?
Yeah. If you go to the end, I think it's what it says.
Yeah. I find it hilarious that I freeze framed it on this little frame here because it just
wait
shows...
a minute. The white dude looks like David Hasselhoff's
it's kind of weird. Like I can't pinpoint where he's from. Chat, if you know where he's from, because I don't even know who that is. But I know.
First, I thought he looked like a character from Lucifer. Now I can see David Hasselhoff for some reason.
But you can clearly see how happy they are to host this.
So Peacock is $5 a month.
That's not bad.
Peacock is it's $5 a month or $10 a month without ads.
So you're automatically already paying for it's basically YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
You're not paying for ads here.
But yeah, this is like I said, I saw this.
But then I hope they're not like Hulu, where they still show you ads even though you pay for the premium in between segments.
Yep, they do that.
That's so stupid. It's like, I'm paying for you. I've already given you my money and you're still selling.
HBO even does this, I believe.
It's terrible, man.
Oh yeah.
They got away with it. Nobody complained about it. They were just like, oh, okay, fine, 30 seconds. Well, let's go.
Yeah.
Unskippable. But then YouTube did it correct. Here's a quick story for you guys. I have had YouTube Premium for a long time, ever since Google Music was announced.
Okay.
So what I didn't know is when I pay for Google Music, now debunked and now YouTube Music, they included no ads on YouTube. And then not only that, but now I get 4 other accounts, like my kids, to also have YouTube Premium without ads. The situation was like, I logged into a different account that hosts the Nerd Junkies account, and I went back to YouTube, and the first thing that hit me was like, premium! Get the premium! And I'm like, what? Okay, well, I'm just looking for a clip here. And then I searched for the clip. I kid you not, I went through at least 3 commercials before I got to the end of that clip.
Yeah.
I have been spoiled so bad by Google Music's premium plan. that I forgot how painful it is to watch ads on
I just do a
anything.
free version.
They're
ad
overloading so many ads nowadays that it's like that's like their way of driving people to subscribe.
Yeah.
It's just to be like, well, you get 10 minutes of ads, or you can pay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get canceled from streaming on YouTube after this.
Problem.
But by the way,
Wait a
get
minute,
YouTube Premium.
you stream didn't do that.
By the way, everybody
do that back in the day, and what happened to them?
Yeah.
All right, but that's pretty much the end of the story for this
sorry.
one. Frogger on Peacock. You
September
can watch it and let us know what you think. Clay, if you catch an episode, let us know what you think, because it just seems like mindless fun at this point.
If it's on the free plan, I'll check it out. If not, probably not going to be seeing it anytime soon.
Yeah.
Give me Guts or Legends of the Hidden Temple, I'll be fine.
Yeah, dude.
Give me some of that sweet Nick Arcade.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Whoa, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Do you remember at the
We
very
are
end of
old.
the show of Nick Arcade what they had to do?
Yeah, where they go into that like blue screen setup with like, and they're like inside the game.
And how cool was that? Or they had to climb the wall and like play, I think it was like Pong with their bodies. And so they had to climb up and down and play Pong. And I was like, dude, that would have been amazing to be like on those shows, even as like a viewer on the set. Yeah. But I think it was a good startup for Nick at that point in time. I think if they brought those shows back, they wouldn't have like not the reruns, but I think if they redid them, I don't think it would have the same cult following.
Probably not.
Sadly not.
Just good memories.
Yeah.
Bam. But anyways, chat, you got anything? Netflix doesn't have ads. No, they don't. They just show it to you when you're like, they just show you ads like when you're selecting different movies of those movies. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Clay, anything you want to say to the chats before we head on out?
Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut came out yesterday. Everybody should play that.
Is that technically the PS5 upgrade?
The Director's Cut stuff is also in the PS4 version. The PS5 is where you get your 60 frames, 4K, all that stuff.
Right. So is the Director's Cut required to get the PS5 upgrades, or do you automatically get upgraded off of your retail copy of
the
Ghost?
PS5 does not have the regular version of the game. It only has the Director's Cut.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Huh. All right.
But the difference in the two is only adding content. They're not even though it's called a Director's Cut, it's not really like they're changing anything in the game. They're just it's like a DLC pack.
Right.
So it's kind of not really named correctly. It's
yeah,
not really a
it's kind of
Director's Cut.
confusing.
It should just be called season 1 or something like that. Like they're only adding content. They're content. They're not like editing or changing. Like the Director's Cut isn't like a new ending or something like that.
So what the hell? Why name it that?
Video games, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mel, you got anything?
Why is World of Warcraft Classic now have the Burning Crusade expansion? The entire point of it is only to cap you at 60.
Damn, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe Wandering Raven could tell us why that is.
Yeah.
Well, he's actually getting into Final Fantasy 14.
Oh yeah, I saw him casting. I think it was Division 2 earlier today. But yeah. Mel, do you got anything for the chats before we head on out?
Aside from my usual morning streams of Final Fantasy 14, I'm possibly going to be playing DBD Dead by Daylight, excuse me, next Saturday.
Awesome. Okay. Well, aside from that, I got nothing. I'm probably going to be casting some games. Clay, I don't know what your schedule today looks like.
Just so we don't have a repeat of last week or something, I'll say, where I was like, dude, I'm wide open. And then no, it was canceled instantly once I spoke with my wife, and then it was like, no, you have things to do. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're
By
right.
the way, where were they posted? In here.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks.
That's where everything was.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't have anything going on.
Yeah.
I will let you know. But if you do have time,
we need
the
Ascent.
We need to play the Ascent finally.
Yeah, I started it, but it was just like the first level, like the tutorial. Yeah, okay. I think we're gonna be playing the Ascent. Plus, I got to play with Nitzel later on today, so we're gonna be casting whatever we're gonna play with it. I think he was talking about a free game off of the Epic launcher. I can't remember what it was. I don't know if you saw it in the chat. But yeah, check out our Discord, nerdjunkies.com/Discord. You'll automatically get the invite to join our Discord if you're not part of that already. And then also our promotion going out, or a giveaway going out this week, is that we're trying to reach 100 followers on Twitch. And so we're going to be giving away a $25 gift card to Steam for one out of those 100 first followers. So yeah. Let your friends know if they need $25, so that way they can finally play with you on that game that's co-op, that's enabled for crossplay. Finally,
that one co-op game.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. There's always that one friend who's just like, cranky pants, who will be like, "Hey, I want to play this game, but I don't know if I should buy it. Can you buy it real quick and see if you like it?" And then all of a sudden I'm like, "Yeah, man, this is a cool game. We should play it on co-op." And then Cranky Pants is just like, Nah.
By the way, Cranky Pants, how are those comics coming along?
Yeah, Cranky Pants. How's anything
you know
going
what
on
Cranky
right
Pants
now?
is gonna tell you? Just tell me what you want and I'll draw it. But I'm like, the whole point is for your creative freedom to show. I mean, we even cleaned up the website, bro. Like, we went and cleaned up the website. We're on stream here. And then not only that, but all your previous articles are on here for comics. And we continue to promote it on Twitter. No problem.
Yes.
So give us that new content or we'll treat you like EA at the end. Cancel.
Exactly. Shut down.
Don't make me go to Blizzard level.
No.
Hey now. Whoa. Hey. Oh.
No.
Ooh. All right. Damn, y'all travel agents. What? We'll sell you anything.
This guild trip's getting out. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, man, it's a lot of hard work and stuff, and we just want some comics because they're awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody give Cranky Pants crap to make some more.
Exactly.
Comics.
He deserves
it. Man.
Shame.
Just start blasting him on Discord.
Ding ding ding.
Yeah.
Shame.
Where my comics after this week? You owe me, even though I pay you nothing.
Exactly.
All right, let's get out of here. Same time next week. Same time. Same channel. All that jazz.
I'm not working.
Yeah. And we'll be back here. Join us on our Discord, and we'll be playing games. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
Be healthy.
Every time.
Every week. Never gets old.